Honestly, this video is incredibly stupid and I'm getting bored making it. Somebody else please make another one on me. It's
Ask and ye shall receive. If you don't know who WestJett is, he's a YouTuber who's mainly known for rating skins and doing videos on whether you should get a new skin or not, called Cop or Drop, because obviously people need a YouTuber to tell them a skin looks good before they can buy it. But more recently, he's began making a different type of video called the Cringe series, where he'll go after a specific YouTuber, creator, or a group of creators and spend 8 minutes talking about why they're cringe. Now recently he made a video, Queen of Cringe face reveal, basically making fun of the streamer's face reveal and also how there used to be an e-dater. He didn't go on to say she was ugly or anything, but that didn't stop his 12-year-old audience from leaving comments like this. And it's ironic because anytime he refers to himself, he tries to find the best photo he can. Even in the one video where he's making fun of himself, he's too insecure to use a photo that actually looks bad. And if he's so insecure about himself, why go on to make videos making fun of other streamers and YouTubers, especially for their face reveals? To be fair, you could blame that on him wanting to make low effort content, which would make sense as he has an intro at the start of every video that's 30 seconds long, trying to push his video to 8 minutes long. There should actually be a skip intro button at the start of every one of his videos, because who actually wants to waste 30 seconds of him repeating the same thing every single video? And for how cringe and repetitive his intro is, you'd think he's self-aware enough not to make fun of others for the exact same thing. But this is WestJett we're talking about. He never fails to disappoint.
And I know Elevens is a smart guy. He understands that the gimmick is dying. You know, you were feeling lonely the first time, but after the 6th time, you already got married twice, you got divorced, you lost the kids. It's over.
This huge increase in Valorant cringe content recently has been mainly because of this guy, Steven Lin. A few months ago, he started making videos about Valorant e-daters and how cringe the Valorant community is, and he got millions of views. And ever since, a lot of YouTubers started copycatting, like WestJett, and just try and make the same content, but with less effort. At the end of the day, even if you agree with what WestJett is saying, it's just a watered down and less funny version of what this guy's making, which in my opinion is also pretty cringe. So WestJett makes a video on Schrodinger Lee, which Steven Lin also covered, but this one's shorter than usual. It's only 4 minutes, and it's mainly because he reacts to this clip of Schrodinger Lee, which perfectly points out the problem in every single cringe commentary channel.
I would rather create content that is cringe rather than create content that hate mongers and send death threats towards other people.
100% agree. This is why on the WestJett channel, we support positivity and love.
And I don't...
Except he doesn't, and I'll get onto that later.
I would rather laugh at myself as opposed to laugh at somebody else and send a wave of hate towards their direction and dehumanize them.
And you know what? Credit to WestJett for at least bringing up this clip and showing his audience a different perspective.
Had a 1v1 versus Steven Lin in the Discord call, and I sort of decimated him, and as much as I love Steven Lin and his content, this was pretty tough.
Do you feel like what you do negatively affects the people at which you react to on there?
Damn, okay. Yeah, nah, I mean...
The answer is obviously yes, and WestJett recognizes this. Yeah, he continues to make the same type of content, but at the end of every video, he just says, don't send hate towards these people, as if that actually makes any difference.
That's out of my control.
All he had to say was, yes, goddammit, it does. F Elevens, he's a nerd, you know what I mean?
Can't do anything about it. Like,
No, I think
can add disclaimers and shit, but...
I think it's fully within your control though, no? Because like they're reacting to your words, isn't it? It's like if like you react to something within a way, isn't that somewhat biased from what your actions are? Well, not really.
Like a lot of people who grew up on YouTube, I had a phase where I was obsessed with commentary channels like H3H3, Memulous, and many more. And I used to find those channels hilarious when I was a kid, but don't anymore. And it seems a lot of those channels have actually matured themselves and changed their content completely. For example, about 5 months ago, IDubbbz made an apology video where he talked about how he used to make really edgy content, and he created a really toxic fan base.
I was being very bigoted in a lot of my videos, and I justified it because, you know, I didn't think it was too serious. I'm sorry to everyone that I made content cop videos on. I still don't like the majority of you, and that's fine, but I can recognize that you did not deserve the hate and harassment that I sent your way.
And as you can see, even my suggested right below, we have another commentary channel essentially making fun of IDubbbz's video, being in the same spot he was in pretty much 10 years ago. So essentially, these YouTubers have matured, their audience have matured, and strayed away from their old type of content, and the only people who really watch these videos now is mostly kids. Now, everybody likes a bit of dark humor, and when done right, it can be really funny. And when done wrong, it looks like this.
Big name people got offended by this, and rightfully so. This is ridiculous. The 4 fire emojis would have never made me think that it was ironic or in any...
He tries to defend the tweet by just saying it was ironic or it was a joke. Everyone knows he didn't sincerely mean what he said. We can tell it was meant to be a joke, it was just a really bad one. The reason it was bad is because the entire punchline was just be misogynistic. Also, this is the reality for a lot of women who actually play and end up in this situation. So it's not a funny situation, and the joke doesn't have a punchline.
It was ironic or in any way not reflective of what he said. It's not that deep, it's not that serious. Sometimes they don't land Flight 370, but that's alright. It doesn't matter.
But to be fair to him, it does seem like he's trying. He did admit sometimes his jokes don't land. It wasn't meant to be that serious. And I'm sure he wouldn't say something like this. Never mind, he's at it again. People who say moots or delulu, you can just say a woman. It's just women that say that. Sure, it's not every woman, but we get what he's saying. And this wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't for the fact a lot of his audience is just kids, and they're not going to understand, as well as an adult, that all of these are just jokes, and they shouldn't actually act this way. And even his edgy humor gets really repetitive, and he repeats the exact same joke multiple times.
Valorant, a bit of a cringe game and community at that.
Yeah, anytime he says cringe community, he just uses that picture, and he does this over multiple videos. And he can just say, oh, it's just a joke, it's not too deep. It's pretty obvious to what kind of audience he's pandering and trying to get the attention of. And he understands this concept very well as he criticizes other YouTubers for the same thing.
Even if you're self-aware, you're still contributing to the larger problem, and that's the edaters. So Sage Mommy...
So he knows being self-aware isn't enough because you're still contributing to the problem. Yet he can't recognize that when he does that himself. You've heard it a million times now in his intros. 6'5" Venezuelan trillionaire, WestJett. But have you ever wondered how true that really is? I decided to do the research and find out. So let's do Venezuelan Bolivar into US dollars. Let's input 1 trillion Venezuelan Bolivars. Now it's finally a trillion. So trillion Venezuelan Bolivars equal to 28 billion US dollars. I think we can all assume WestJett does not have $28 billion. And you may be wondering, oh no, what if this is the wrong currency? Maybe he meant the other Venezuelan currency. Oh, you mean the obsolete one? As it says here, VB has been replaced by VEF. So in other words, he is not a Venezuelan trillionaire. At most, he's an ex-Venezuelan trillionaire. But that's not all. Is he even really 6'5"? Well, there's only one way to find out. So I couldn't find a full height photo of WestJett, so I'm going to be using this as a reference. And then I'm going to compare him to Willius as they took this picture together. And to find Willius's height, I'm going to be using this picture as comparison next to Joel's.
Wait, how cool. I'm 6 foot. You're 6 foot? Oh, yeah.
Okay, we're going to take his word for it. I'm going to assume he's not taller than he's actually saying, and at max he's 6 foot. In this picture I drew a line at the top of Joel's head, and it is about the same as Willius's head. Willius might be half an inch or 1 inch taller than him, so let's say he's like 6'1", maybe a bit less. Now it's time to compare this pic of WestJett and Willius. But for this one I'm going to be using the utmost precision. So to find the height gap between Willius and WestJett, I'm going to use his glasses as a reference. And to find the length of his glasses, I'm going to use his iPhone. So his iPhone is about 5.8 inches. And if I flip this line, I can compare it to his glasses. And here is another blue line showing the length of his glasses in comparison to his phone. And thankfully, at the top of Google Slides, we do have a ruler, so let's compare them. So the red line is 2.27, and the blue line is 1.68. So if you do the maths, that means his glasses are 4.3 inches long. And over here, Willius isn't standing exactly straight, so we're going to try and fix that up a little bit. So this red arrow is where his headline should be if he was standing straight. And that is WestJett's headline. And this green line represents the gap between WestJett and Willius. And this longer green line once again shows his glasses. So the long green line is 1.29. The short green line is 0.64. So we're going to do 0.64 over 1.29 times to give us 2.1 inches. Leaving us at the conclusion that if Willius is 6'1", then WestJett is at most 6'3". In conclusion, WestJett has been exposed as a liar, deceiving his audience by his height, about being a trillionaire, and also trying to be an iDubbbz wannabe. I mean, he literally uses the iDubbbz intro in his videos, and calls his videos content cops.
What we do here is go back.
Anyways, like the video and subscribe. You can join my Valorant Discord, link in description, and see you guys next time.